Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new show brought to you by your friends Hard Money Bob and Variable. Hard Money Bob, how are you doing?
I didn't know that was my name. You forgot to share me the
No,
script for this episode.
I did a poll and it was either Hard Money Bob or Volkswagen Timmy. So
Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce.
yeah, I figured, so I guess we'd just do Hard Money Bob instead of Volkswagen Timmy.
I won't buy into this joke until you explain it to me. I don't want to be made fool of. Where did you make this poll?
Because I needed a name. Like mine's easy, I'm just Variable now, right?
I hope you start to vary the content a little more.
I'm trying to spice it up. But what's the opposite of a fiatjaf?
Huh. But why Bob?
Because what on earth was that? You produced what was truck?
What did I produce? I don't get it.
You gotta imagine. I have no idea who this dude is. I only know he's somewhere in Brazil and he's next to a fucking road. Oh man, I can't
Who is
imagine.
not next to a road? Everybody lives next to a road.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
but you explicitly live next to a road. That's quite amazing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're no longer anti-hash podcast because that one's dead, right?
Right.
Right.
Now we are pro hash.
We're pro hash. But we're probably gonna just use the same RSS feed because that's easier. I figure.
Really? We have to change the name? No, we can keep the same name. No one cares. I don't
Right.
want to have to invent a new name.
Yeah, but we didn't actually have a name anyway, so.
Yeah, we had that domain name,
Okay.
and that cost money.
Right.
It wasn't us who paid, but
Okay, so we'll just continue. So the plan was to steal format ideas. So that's our show. We're going to steal format ideas. And the
Okay.
first format idea that we're going to steal is we're going to read Stecker News.
yeah, okay. I was looking at Stalker News, but everything is so bad. But we can read it.
Yes. And then we can
Okay.
both come to a conclusion. A shared conclusion that it's bad. You shouldn't go to this site.
Can we read No Bullshit Bitcoin?
I don't know. What is no bullshit Bitcoin?
Type in your browser nobsbitcoin.com.
No BS. Bitcoin.com.
It used to be a very good website that had very short news. Now it has turned into a big media company with large news. But we can read just the titles.
So now it has bullshit.
Yes.
I see. Okay, but what's wrong with Stecker News? Why we're doing this now? You're making
No,
it very
no.
confusing.
No, let's do Stalker News, but we can try that other one.
Okay, we have a backup.
Yeah.
All right. So this community is amazing. Nah, it's not. It's probably not. Oh, somebody who's very sentimental and wants to thank everybody. I mean, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares.
You're not going to read the full thing, right? Okay.
I'm not going to explicitly tell you to commit suicide or anything, but I don't know. No, I'm not. What? Are we going to read it?
Robosets is back online. What do you think about this?
What is?
What do you think
RoboSets?
about Robosets?
What on earth is a RoboSet?
Robosets is a service for buying and selling Bitcoin through fiat, and you have to connect through Tor, and then you make a Lightning payment. The Lightning payment stays pending for a week, maybe, until the person sends you the money, and then they release the payment or something like that.
Really, they're going to lock up the HLC that long?
Yes.
But
Yes, they do that.
that's terrible for everybody in the route, right?
Yes, yes. That's one of the reasons I stopped running a node. Yeah, I still run, but I'm trying to stop. Like I had many HTLCs that would stop.
So it's a shit. So this is a shit idea. It's like abuse of the system.
Yes.
Okay. Then we're not gonna talk about it.
No.
Okay.
We already did.
I saw something else. A vision for Bitcoin monasteries.
Sounds good.
A pitch
Bitcoin's a
to
religion.
a pitch to Catholic monasteries who desire to receive Bitcoin, run a node, use mining as an economic engine. In short, turning the meme into a reality. So apparently they're trying to pitch Bitcoin to monasteries.
That's the level of desperation we got. Yeah.
Some extremely dying at like Mac 10 institution. Okay, we're trying to save monasteries because they're dying. Is that it? I don't want to read all this stuff right now.
No. Let's move to the next one.
Well, the topic might be interesting, but then I have to. This format is not working out, dude.
No, it's very good. Like this is top 10% episodes already of this show. I don't like sushi. Change my mind.
No. I mean,
just found.
I agree. I like sushi. Sushi's nice, right? But then I'm thinking, it's like, why go through all the effort of combining the rice with the fish and stuff instead of just like putting rice on your plate and then putting fish there? And
it's a different kind of rice, right?
Inventing a fork and knife, right, and a spoon. You do that. You just put everything on a plate and then you eat it instead of all the fancy things, wrapping it in seaweed. It's like, what the fuck's your problem? But yeah.
But doesn't it use a different kind of rice?
Yes, but you can make any rice and just still throw it on a plate. Is this rice allergic on being thrown on plates? It just does it jump off? What's the problem here?
Yeah.
I don't like rice is lowest tier. So for me it's potato, pasta, rice, like in that order. And for you?
You mean I don't know what you're talking about.
So meal carbohydrates, right? I'm not even including bread. So warm meal carbohydrates. You have.
So it's the thing that you add along with the
meat. and the vegetables. Yes.
I see. Well, in Brazil we do rice. Oh, there's no potatoes. Like we do potatoes, but along with the rice.
The potatoes along.
Yeah, the potatoes are not in the same category as the rice. Like they are in the same category as the vegetables.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. No, dude. Potato above. I mean, with potatoes you can do so many things, and they're all perfect.
We're going to lose the
yes
carnivore. I don't even know how to.
Carnivore. Yeah.
Carnivore. Listeners. I don't eat plants. That's what you should say.
Why are we doing this Decker News thing?
Because
you have to come. I just mentioned the headline. You have to mention one now because.
Yeah. That's me now. Satlantis Season 3 is underway. 84 million sets awarded so far. There's a lot of sets.
What is underway?
Satlantis Season 3. Satlantis is a Bitcoin-based Minecraft server that uses sats as the currency. All the revenue that the game generates is shared with the players via proof-of-work-like system, where players must collect and expand in-game resources for the chance to win block rewards. To date, Satlantis has awarded 84 million sats. There's a lot of new updates this season, including the launch of Hunger Games, a classic game mode of Battle Royale, a new line of ASICs to be unlocked, a new Elytra race map, and
Okay,
much
nobody
more.
cares. But apparently, people implemented Lightning into their Bitcoin or their Minecraft server. Okay, that's cool, I
Yes.
guess.
That's your comment.
Yeah, well, my comment is good luck for everybody who tries to hack the Minecraft server and to steal all the money. Go do that,
Really?
right?
Really?
Yeah, that's the real purpose of this, right? You create these honeypots in order to incentivize young people to start become thieves. And
Like by playing or by trying to access the server
right,
through
maliciously,
external.
yeah.
But they can also play and game the game, doing game things.
No, man. You don't do that. That's stupid. That's stupid. You try to destroy everything that's nice in this world. That's what you're supposed to do if you're a Bitcoiner. Because if you're able to destroy it, it's not real. It's never been real, fiatjaf.
Really?
Yes, that's how we live as a Bitcoiner.
So you shouldn't rely on mutual love.
What's that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, your time.
What's
your
love?
time to
What is
leave.
love, fiatjaf?
That's a song about that.
Yes, and we're supposed to hurt you. That's what the point is. What's the end game? Gee, oh, that's such a long post. My last post advocating for a Bitcoin chain split drew various reactions. You think?
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, we're also gonna have to figure. Maybe we have to share the URL to each other or something.
Oh, what's the end game?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was a comment about the previous
No.
thing,
No,
but
it's
it's
tiny.
actually the.
Oh, it's by
Jim's
Jimmy-
song.
It's Jimmy's song. Oh God. Why are we gonna make enemies on this podcast, fiatjaf?
Let's skip. Jim's song has blocked me 2 days ago. On
Seriously?
Twitter. Yes.
Oh wait, you already have active beef with Jimmy's song.
Yeah, I used to like him, but he blocked me. He blocked me because he was saying there are no normal people using shitcoins, no well-intentioned people using shitcoins ever. No one, zero. And then I found out that he himself was a shitcoin user a few years ago. And then I said, either this proves him or proves that he is a well-intentioned person. And then he blocked me.
Interesting. Yeah, let's not do this, right? We don't need to make enemies.
Okay.
Maybe we can discuss it. Yeah, it's probably not worth it to discuss. That's the problem with it, dude.
I can't find. Oh, Bitcoin Uptech newsletter. And then I click on the Bitcoin Uptech newsletter link, and then I read some news from there. Right.
Okay, we're going to Optech now.
Well, it was linked from Stacker News.
Okay, so then we're allowed to switch to Optech.
Bitcoin transaction.
Is the point to get to Hitler in like 5 links, or how are we gonna do this?
Hitler.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that other guy that had some degrees of something?
You don't know the Wikipedia game that you have to get to Hitler like.
No, the only game I play is StarCraft.
Minimum amount of links. Oh, can we please just discuss? No, we can't discuss StarCraft because I forgot all the games already.
We can discuss the Zerg game.
Yes.
No, but let's do that in the end. Like,
Oh.
let's still have the people who are interested in Bitcoin topics, and then at the end, when
This
no
is
one
the
else
most
is-
inefficient way to consume any Bitcoin-related content because.
No, you don't like. If you listen to this podcast, you don't have to read all these crappy websites.
To come to the conclusion that there's no information there. Okay.
There is no information really. That's the purpose of this show. It's to show you there's no information. You are not losing anything.
Right. Don't FOMO, because there's
Yeah.
nothing out there.
Keep driving, and pay attention to the other cars. Bitcoin transaction compression. Tom Breyer, do you know who this person is? Posted to the Bitcoin Dev mailing list a draft specification and proposed implementation of compressed Bitcoin transactions, like you're gonna gzip the transactions. No. This is a soft fork, probably, right?
Oh no,
No,
wait,
it's just a way to transfer the transactions to others.
Yes, yes. So it's on the P2P level.
Through
Or
steganography, because that's really what people should be doing. Like they will put a Bitcoin transaction inside an image.
yes. So everybody is going to send each other Britney Spears pictures, and we're going to encrypt our data into Britney Spears pictures.
Do you really need to shrink the transaction to put it in a Britney Spears picture? The pictures are already like 5 megabytes.
No, we're going to use the posters of Britney Spears, so they're going to be larger than 5 megabytes.
So that's really a lot of space there to fit a Bitcoin
Yes.
transaction.
But then it's
Well,
really well hidden. That's the point. Because nobody expects there to be like Bitcoin data inside of Britney Spears pictures.
Well, the guy has a very large spec. I think this is a waste of time, but you probably like it.
No, so a smaller transaction would be more practical to relay through bandwidth constrained mediums, and you're talking about the stenography thing, but I think if you're running, like you have these mesh network ideas, right? And I mean, I guess there are some mesh networks out there, larger scale, but these lower bandwidth type thing mesh networks. I think it's good to see how we can minimize like this stuff and not assume the internet, right? I mean, we have to some extent we have to assume the internet for the base stuff. I mean, I don't think you can actually run Bitcoin without the internet.
Yeah.
Because you're running into latency problems. Like, how else are you going to have like global coverage within 10 minutes time?
Yeah.
You probably have to increase the block size the block time a lot.
There are people sending transactions through radio, and there was that some years ago. There was a thing called GoTenna or something. They were trying to sell their devices to Bitcoiners, and they had a thing to transmit Bitcoin transactions. I think the transactions are already pretty small. It's good that they can be made smaller, but I don't know. It feels like the wrong priority. But if this guy wants to do this, then why not?
No, I think this is exactly right. Right. I think this is exactly the type of marginal weird stuff that that has to be done, because if everybody, so you can do like obvious Bitcoin improvements, but if everybody who's working on Bitcoin also does like stuff like this, then you at the margins we creep out, and then all of a sudden this new thing becomes possible because people did some silly stuff, right? Do you get what I'm saying? You don't necessarily know what the actual route forward is.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
By doing this strange, weird, autistic exploration thingy, we might get there unwittingly, because that would be my point. Are we going to talk about StarCraft already, or?
Don't we have a lot of news still to read?
No. By Saifedean Ammous. 2 open letters rejecting Why not just one, dude? Why not? It's 2 open letters, and
Where
it links
that?
to
Stack
one
of News?
YouTube. Yeah, and it links to one YouTube video. How can? Why?
I'm not seeing that.
Did he make 2 letters addressing the 2 separate bips? Is that what's going on?
Oh no, by Saifedean Ammous. Yeah, now Saifedean Ammous is the person who.
I would like to point out that this not particularly this podcast, because we just started with this podcast. I mean, it's just episode 1, but it so happened that we made a podcast before this, and we already talked a lot about talking about tribe chains. We never actually discussed the thing.
And we will not, right?
And we
Let's
will
skip-
indeed not. That's the conclusion.
Yeah, thank you.
Although, did you watch any Baltic Honey Badger stuff?
I did. There was a panel about unpopular opinions, and then everybody in the panel was talking about how drive chain is so bad, and
Yes,
then the
they-
crowd was cheering
Yes.
because their opinions are so unpopular. Everybody would love them.
I mean, Giacomo mentioned that they probably should have talked about the what's the thing? What is it? Why do I blank
Ordinals.
out? No, not
Ordinals.
ordinals. Replaced by fee stuff. Right? Because they both had like Peter Todd and Carvalho there.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
what they
they-
should have talked about.
Yes, that's what
that would
Giac-
have been a really good
yes,
idea.
yes. Giacomo mentioned that at the end. It's like we failed. We should have done that. And he was right. They should have done that. I don't necessarily think it would have been a super interesting discussion, but nevertheless, I mean, that would have been better than discussing drive chains.
Yeah.
I really think it's a waste of time. Right? We had some good discussion. If you're looking at all the, especially all the Bitcoin podcasts lately, because Blockstream is doing their own podcast as well.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it?
I
What's
don't
the
know.
name?
Blockstream podcast. I don't know what the name is. But they
Really, this is really like a boom in the industry. Like there's so many podcasts.
yes, but there were a bunch of technical ones, and they were discussing APO. They were discussing signature aggregation.
Isn't it chain code?
CTV. No, you also have the chain code one.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's cool, right? I mean, we're discussing these things. I mean, we've been discussing these things for years now. But they're resurfacing in a more serious matter, where I was like, okay, cool. And now we're talking about drive chains, and I'm like, fuck. Can we skip this discussion? Like, can we first just do at least APO, right? Can we just at
It
least
won't
do
happen,
something?
Constant. It will not happen.
So
Nothing
here's
will
the-
happen. So at least drive chain is more
More fun
dramatic.
to discuss.
Yes.
So, given nothing's going to happen anyway, we're probably
Let's get people angry. APO is just we all love APO, we all love CTV, we all love each other, but then nothing happens. The drive
Right.
chain is much better than that. It's just
yes, there's
people
more
hating.
contention. So is there marketing budget behind drive chains now? Is that what's going on?
No, I think it was just my tweets.
Jack Dorsey, B-Trust scoops African Bitcoin talent firm Koala. Gala? How do you pronounce this? I mean,
It's like Al Qaeda.
No, it's not a word because it's a Q not followed by a U, right? So then it's not a word.
Just like Al Qaeda.
You're right.
Or
Are you right? Kala.
well,
I feel it's like a word that's I'm in like some Warcraft world and I'm saying some sacred thing. It's like Kala.
yeah, you are in an adventure movie.
We are all gathered here. Kala.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack Dorsey
What's
bought
this? What's
an
this?
African
What's
company.
B-Trust? Another Jack Dorsey thing for giving money.
It's only oh, here's the link.
I think
B-Trust.
Jack Dorsey is the only person funding the entire Bitcoin ecosystem.
Well, he's not funding the entire Bitcoin system because I'm not getting any money, fiatjaf.
Because you didn't figure out the secret to asking.
That's true.
So apparently this guy, Bernard Parra, co-founder and director of Kala, this guy had a company Like he had a Lightning company. You remember that? Of course you don't.
No.
You remember a Lightning wallet custodial that transformed your sats into dollars? I think
No.
it was in Nigeria.
No.
Like this was like 2 months ago. This guy had this company.
Oh, and he only had it for 2 months, and now it's bought by Jack Dorsey.
No, now it wasn't called Kala.
Oh no.
What's Kala?
Acquires
organization
African Bitcoin talent development firm.
Like if
Kala.
you search for Bernard Para, you see the company. Let me search.
Oyama Ochai, board member at Bitra, said, "We are incredible."
Bitnob.
I'm trying to read something here, fiatjaf.
Yeah, it's Bitnob, the company.
We are incredibly proud to welcome Femi and his excellent team to Btrust. With Koala extensive outreach and world-class programs, the organization has made rapid progress in driving open source development in the global south. Here we go, fiatjaf. Woohoo! Global south. Through the advancement of you're part of the global south, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I mean,
Yes.
a very proud member of
Yes.
this organization, the Global South. Also, the BRICS.
Do
I'm
you
a
have
member of-
do you have an anthem? The global south.
We don't speak that language in the Global South, you moron. We speak more warm languages.
Through the advancement of education within the region. Okay. Which is heavily aligned with our core mission at Btrust. Now, I think there were a bunch of
Okay, sorry.
there were a bunch of talks about Africa at the Baltic Honey Badger, and I do think it's interesting. Also, because
Africa is interesting.
no, because I think it was Peter Todd that mentioned at the end. It's like it doesn't matter. It's not it. It's like it's not significant.
Amazing.
And that's probably true. I mean, it's significant for those people at the ground, but in reverse, how significant is it for Bitcoin? Probably not significant by definition, right?
What is significant for Bitcoin? Probably nothing.
I think the grayscale stuff is. I mean, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's significant. But I think the all the small things together they do
That's also
accomplish
true.
something.
That's true. That's true. So it's the Bitcoin kabouter movement that's going to change the world. Okay, we're not.
Mercury layer. Mercury
that?
layer support for Mercury wallet to be discontinued as developers focus on Mercury layer. You want to talk about this?
Oh wait, what was the Mercury thing?
State chains.
Oh right, they were a state chain implementation. Okay, but they're not a wallet anymore. They're now a layer. What's going on there?
I don't know. Mercury layer is a layer 2 protocol for Bitcoin. Whatever. As we move forward with our new blinded MPC off-chain layer, we will be discontinuing support for Mercury wallet. Services will remain available for 3 months. Look out for production release of Mercury layer. Okay, they don't reveal what is Mercury layer, but if you click on mercurylayer.com, there's something there, and it's just a bunch of marketing. Yeah, I think it's the same thing, but it's a new protocol for state chains
Okay,
using Taproot.
I'm not satisfied with this. With how this is going in the format.
Why
'Cause
not?
I don't even
like
because
it.
I
like
don't
it.
even know what the fuck's going on.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. What are we talking about?
Well, I'm reading the news.
Yes, but the problem is that you're reading it with your Brazilian articulation. I have no fucking clue what the fuck you're saying.
Sorry, so you read everything now.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, we can hire someone.
Yes, we can hire a robot that can mimic the voice, the sweet voice of a lady with big tits. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
That's how.
Can we try that now? Like, let's ask.
Do you
Google
have a
Translate.
text to speech with the big-titted lady? Do you have that ready to go?
No, I'll just put it on Google Translate.
Whatever lady they're using there is probably, you can hear that she's not a big-titted lady.
Well, I can't route the sound from my computer to.
Yes, you
To the
can.
Yeah,
but you probably have to download new software on your Linux operating system, and this software is bound to use a different Python version, so it's going to break your computer. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. So should we talk about StarCraft or what?
Yes, let's please just talk about
time. Your turn to read a new news item.
What's the TLDR for drive chains? No,
Where's
we're not
that?
gonna do that.
Is that StarCraft news? Go to the no bullshit Bitcoin. That's much better.
Oh,
You,
okay.
you even have a picture of the Kala guy. I think people just take the links from no bullshit Bitcoin and paste them on Hacker News. StarCraft.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing here right now. So the problem, I'm not able to do this, right? I'm a little bit dyslexic. I can't.
Okay, so let's talk about StarCraft.
So the words on the screen, they're not words or letters. It's just the static image that I can't focus on because I'm talking and doing other stuff. I can't multitask this stuff. I'm incapable, fiatjaf. I have to admit my limitations. I'm incapable of doing this format.
Okay.
So the person who was not our biggest fan, or like, we weren't his favorite podcast, so we should ignore him anyway. We're not able to do this.
So you say we will not change the format?
Well, maybe, but then I have to prep, right? I'd have to look at them in advance, make a list.
No, I think we can take someone. We can
Because
get
I'm
someone.
looking.
We'll pay someone.
Oh, we'll
couple
pay
of
some. Well,
sets.
that's great. No. It's
We'll
it's
pay-
value. We're doing value for value. If you want to waste your free time on this shitty ass operation that's going to conquer the world, then
No, the person will record themselves reading the news, and then we'll listen to that, and then stop, comment, and then listen a little more.
That's actually brilliant. That's brilliant. That's something. Okay, that's something Bitcoin.review should do. But we're going to steal that. No. We can talk about that. So I didn't listen to the entire thing, but I listened to a tiny bit of the Nostr review you were on.
That was very bad. I didn't like it.
Well, there's one aspect. So a while ago we came to the conclusion that with this Nostr thing, you're just doomed to recreate browsers. And then I think one Nostr.review episode ago, it was MVK that mentions like, well, we don't want to recreate browsers, and the nice thing is that we don't have to because we can all do this in separate apps and stuff and stuff like that. And now you are discussing, it's like, where do we have to have smart clients or smart relays or a little bit of both? And I'm kind of lost now, right? So what's the plan? You're
Well,
not going to create super smart clients because they're not supposed to be browsers. But you're also not going to create
it's not
super
like
smart
browsers.
relays.
Browsers are very good in rendering stuff that the server sends to them, right?
Yes, but that's the point, right?
Yeah, but on Nostr, they are smart in a different sense. They are smart in knowing where to connect and which servers they should connect and fetch stuff from.
Ah, okay.
So
But then
the browsers are very dumb. They connect to the place you tell them to connect, and then they download a bunch of instructions from that server, and then they run the instructions with a very high degree of complexity. Like the instructions are very flexible. But on the Nostr smart client, it does some things for you, it does some decisions for you, but it doesn't execute arbitrary stuff from the servers or the relays. I think. And then the smart relay, because some people in the beginning they had the idea that the relays would be very dumb, and then they came to the correct conclusion that dumb relays are just dumb that data storage, and then people don't have incentives to run them, which is correct. But if they are a little smarter and they can filter stuff, they can select what they're going to publish or allow or not, then the incentives get better. And it's also better for the network because the clients can make better decisions about what data to fetch and what servers to connect to.
Okay. This reminds me, you once asked for like a 5-sentence explanation of Nostr, and then you retracted your question because you knew you'd only get dumb answers.
Yeah.
Then I remarked on that, and then I got a reply from Jack Dorsey. But I never got any money. Where's my money, Jack Dorsey?
What was the reply?
I think I'd have to look it up. Let me look it up. I think it was W. Which
Just
stands
that?
which stands for win, right?
I don't know.
Does it stand for Wumbo loss?
I had never seen that.
Let me look it up. Anyway, I started to work on an answer, but I've never sent it to you.
Really?
Yes, but I have it stored here, but I don't know if this is the coherent version. And it's probably not done because I was like, man, that needs improvement.
You took it very much more serious than I expected.
Yes, but I didn't take it serious enough because I never finished it, right? So Nostr is a set of agreements on a file system. Everybody indexes their own files using encryption to describe under whatever name the data is published. Because these names are random and unique, there is no conflict among the identities, so they can all exist next to each other. This means that the data can be gathered and redistributed by anyone, and they don't have to concern themselves with the indexing such that others know what to ask for. You yourself can be such a relay, or use any or multiple of services out there to transmit your nodes or other stuff to anyone who asks for it. These nodes and other stuff transmitted over relays. See how I neatly got to like the definition and then the name? It's amazing. These nodes and other stuff transmitted over relays, Nostr, protocol, is not special because it uses public-private key pairs, encryption. Its method of success among all attempts out there is by realizing that the indexing part is not what is ultimately important in becoming an open standard, but the practical concrete means there are in applying these indexes among each other. Complexity in integrating the protocol into other systems results in centralization of development, and therefore a limited offer in software to adopt the no longer really open standard. That is in the hands of those who facilitate the tools to speak the protocol. By being specific on the simple set, by being specific on the simple setup, Nostr can be a new starting point to set up the infrastructure we use on the internet, where we are free to name, share, and find and experience. What do you think? Was that you slow clapping?
Yeah. I think it was very good, but encryption doesn't mean that. Like you should say cryptography or digital signatures. Encryption is the scrambling stuff.
Isn't it all encryption?
No.
Okay.
But aside from that, I like it. I didn't expect no one will be able to read it. You have to have a little more brain, a bigger brain.
So what type of model of scooter was that?
I can't see.
I can't see. You can only hear.
The window is on the other side. Okay, give me that, and then I'll publish it under my own name. No, just kidding. But
then Jack Dorsey is going to give you money for it. He's like, oh, that's brilliant, fiatjaf. Here, I have all this money. Okay, never mind. StarCraft?
Okay,
Or-
StarCraft. StarCraft.
Yes. So, if you, I don't know how you watch. We're going to discuss. Do we know what type of what ASL it was?
Was?
So it's
It is.
Yeah, it's-
still. It is
yes,
still
but
is.
it's season 16.
16.
Yes, but do we know what round? We're going to talk
Round
about
of 24.
Yes. Okay, so it's round of 24, and then group. I think it's B or something. Was it B?
The Zerg one?
Yes.
Could be. Could be B or C.
I'm gonna look it up. It's D, Group D, and the match was between. I don't care. So, I don't know how you watch the ASL, but did you
I
see
watched on
the?
YouTube.
Yes, okay, but do you skip things? Obviously, you skip things, right?
Yeah, I do skip the interviews. I try to listen to them, but they're very boring
Okay, and when do you start?
at the game.
Okay, because if you start at the pre-game a little bit, right? When
They just
Testosa-
repeat the things inside
Yes.
the game.
Okay. When they started doing like the pre stuff, so we have the two gamers sitting there preparing themselves to start the game, and then Testosa's talking about the players and their records and stuff. The interesting thing here is that they start out talking about what a possible Zerg versus Zerg long game actually could be.
They
And
always
already
do
s-
that. They always do that in every Zerg.
No.
Zerg.
No.
It never
that's not
happens.
true. No, they complain about the fact that it's short.
Oh,
But they
yeah,
never,
but-
yes, but they never explicitly mentioned like what a long.
No,
long
they always say,
sequence
"Oh,
would be."
sometimes a ZVZ can have a defiler," but that's very rare. Like they always mention something like that, but they never go after. Like they never go further.
Anyway, it happened. So we had a long Zerg versus Zerg game. We had end game Zerg versus Zerg, and it was glorious.
But one guy was always losing, right? During the entire game. I maybe there was a time, a moment in
Who
which
actually won? Who actually won that game?
the guy who was winning in the beginning.
Really? Did he win?
What are the name of the players?
We should have prepped this as well. Anyway,
No, I'll find it.
so no. Okay, we did it wrong because our listening audience that is not interested in StarCraft already turned off the podcast now.
Yeah,
Don't
but,
turn
but
it-
the audience that is interested in
People not
StarCraft.
listening anymore because they figured I don't want to listen to StarCraft anymore. Turn back on the podcast.
Because we're going to talk about Bitcoin now.
We're turn it back on. We're gonna wait 5 seconds for you to turn it back on. And then I'm going to explain this to you. So the problem with Zerg versus Zerg in this game called StarCraft Brood War
It
is
was action and effort.
okay. And who was bottom right?
Effort.
Okay, and who won?
Action.
Action. Oh, okay. Okay. The problem with Zerg versus Zerg, this mirror matchup, is that Zerg growth, as how the mechanics of the race functions, Zerg growth is exponential. So this means that in moments of you can have like the same differentiation in time, so let's say half a minute, right? Then if there is a slight difference between the growth rate of the two players, that means that there is a larger difference, right, in absolute terms between them because of their exponential growth rate. Am I explaining this right? I'd hope people are smart enough that they understand how this works, right?
I don't think
They're
you should try to explain that.
Further ahead, no, because that's how it's important.
But people...
Anyway,
Oh, okay.
so this means that the game becomes very fragile because every slight advantage escalates over time really quickly. And this made the game rather boring because it's very finicky and it doesn't really evolve. The matchup doesn't really evolve. It really evolve past a certain point where they get fairly early on, which is Mutalisk Ling. Right, there are only 2 units that are functional within the matchup. You only build those units. You do little skirmishes, and then you find out who wins pretty quickly, because someone is bound to get an advantage early on somewhere, and then win. So this has been the problem of Zerg versus Zerg for all these years. And what happened was that there is this theoretical situation that it can actually move past this point into a late game, where all these new dynamics start to occur. And the interesting thing is that it actually happened, which is also proof why, for the fact that in the entire ASL is rigged, and every match has been rigged. And it's
why
all,
would they rig the tournament to only have Zergs in the round of 16?
ASL is show wrestling, fiatjaf.
But no one cares. No one likes the thing.
It's the WWE of StarCraft. No, so here's what happened, right?
People don't like mirror
for
matchup.
This season, for season 16, we're going to introduce new Zerg versus Zerg. That's what their plan is, right? So they orchestrated every matchup. So they were like, we're gonna do this. We're going to eliminate the 2 obvious Zerg players. They're not gonna be part of it, right? So they were like, Queen, we like you. We're going to give you a bag of money, but you're not going to play this time. And they were like, oh, come on, coach.
What about Soma?
Put me in. I don't know all these names.
I think Soma is the best player or something that the people like more. And he's going on to the next round.
Is Soma better than Queen? Queen was in the finals, right?
Queen won 2 times.
Yeah. Anyway. So in this WWE show wrestling game called StarCraft Boot War, we now went on to this late game Zerg versus Zerg, and the reason I think that this happened is that one of the players just finally decided, I don't have to be an autist and rush to Mutalisk and stuff. I can also just build a fucking creep colony.
Yeah, because he was losing, so he decided to defend,
to do the right thing,
and then he defended, and then he said, "Now I can move to the next thing because I'm well defended."
Because you can't kill me, right? And I don't understand why they just don't do this more often. You sometimes
you can't
have
kill.
to see it.
You can't kill if you get a bunch of Mutalisks, you can kill the colonies, whatever colonies, spore colonies.
No, the spore colonies are strong, dude.
Yeah, but with a lot of Mutalisks, you can't.
Yeah, but but the other player, by that time, the other player has some Mutalisk and some Scourge. It becomes really difficult to just swarm them. There was one thing that I wonder, it's like, why not build a Sunken as well? Because during that game, so many times, the other Zerg just ran past, like, 2 freaking Zerglings and then killing drone.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, just make one Sunken, dude. But it was interesting. I hope it was a start of something new. I hope we're going to see this type of matchup more often, because I feel that the Zerg players feel forced to conform themselves to this Mutaling strata.
Well, because if they try something else and it doesn't work, they'll feel ashamed.
Well, it's not because they don't know. They might know, but it's not they're not comfortable moving on past that stage. And hopefully they're on our trigger. It's like, well, maybe we can actually just do this.
Well, another proof that the thing was rigged is that Artosis knew everything that was going to happen.
Yes, he even mentioned it before the game. That's the point of what trying to make it start.
He mentioned
he mentioned
the big
all
elephants.
the things at the start. Yes, the big elephants. Ultralisks.
Megalisks or something.
Yes. Mega Ultra Bruta something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
I hope
Tasteless was laughing the entire game. not believing that Artosis had
It was
predicted
amazing.
everything that happened. Because then this person will make this unit, and then you have the other person will have to make this one, and then you make this, and then the other person makes this.
Yes, but that's the amazing thing. They're using every freaking Zerg unit now. If they're going to start doing this, it's so much more interesting. It's actually interesting. That would be so. Another thing that would be amazing that if this is actually a fundamental shift, that means that after 25 years of extensively playing this game on a very extremely high level, we're still able to experience such a fundamental shift in the meta. That would be
The
amazing.
fundamental shift is that Protoss lose all the games now.
Yes. But I have to say, I mean, from what I can recall of the games, they were good games. They weren't lame. I mean, it's a shame that there were.
They were very lame.
No, because you don't like to see Protoss losing. That's why you think they were.
Well,
lame.
they
But the games were
lose.
something.
Yeah, obviously I don't like that. But they lost in so stupid games. Let me remember here. I think it was the second group. It had two Protoss. Both were eliminated by stupid rushes.
Oh, did you see the round of the next round setup? Did
No,
you see
that thing with the gamers, they spent 6 hours
Yes.
trying to decide what's the
but-
next group.
Nobody cares. But did you watch the conclusion? Do
No,
you know
no,
the
I will.
rosters?
I will watch the entire thing.
You're going to watch the entire.
I will
thing?
try. I will try. I never did, but I always try and I always give up.
Can I spoil it? Can I say what the round of 16 looked like?
All the Protoss in the same group, so they can ensure.
No. So JYJ is the biggest hero of them all. He said like, okay, give me all the Zerg. So there are like 3 Zerg in his group, which
Don't-
is so baller. Because now the rest of the groups, they're actually like balanced out, race wise.
Nice.
So
That's
JYJ is going to slaughter all the Zerg.
I don't know
And
if
then
he
it's-
will.
Come on, man. He's a Terran player. Of course, he's going to slaughter all the Zerg. He's going to win.
Where's fantasy?
Terran is going to win the tournament, dude.
Why is it fantasy in this tournament?
We're going to have a TVT finale, like always.
Yeah, probably. Like you have two turns. And then yeah, I like that. What was the last group? No, the second to last group that had 2 Terrans, and they both won. Like it had Ample, which is like a minor guy, and he passed on, and the other guy was Sharp, and they eliminated the 2 Zergs. That was a very good game.
Yeah, there were a couple of upsets. That's also interesting.
That's very good games. Yeah, this Ample guy, he was losing all the games. Like he seemed to be losing all the time, and then he just enters the base with the Marines and kills everybody. End of the game. Okay.
Let's switch it back to Bitcoin.
Let's talk about the dogs.
How many dogs are there?
2.
2? They're in a barking contest.
They're barking to people on the street.
Maybe we can get an AI to translate what they're saying. Maybe they're recording a podcast.
I don't think they're saying anything.
Yes, I think those 2 dogs are recording a podcast. And we are in the background of their podcast talking. So they have background sound of humans making human sounds that they can understand while they're recording their podcast. But we both have the street sounds. Fuck, this is an absolute disaster, dude. I mean, we've been away for like a month or more than a month, and we're not able to produce anything good.
Well, nothing's
when
happening in Bitcoin. Nothing's happening. But things
I've
are
had,
happening in StarCraft world.
I've had like 10 ideas in this past month. Like, well, maybe we can discuss this, and then now we're here, and I forgot all of them. And I'm shitty at taking notes. I should take notes.
I don't think
Oh.
I have anything useful to say anymore, or to add to any conversation.
That's also a problem. Because that was the conclusion last time. Like, we're done. We said it all redundantly.
Yeah, we should have guests. No, the guests have always already been in all the podcasts, and they always talk about the same things.
Yeah, so that we can do, right? I mean, I believe in our ability to get a guest and talk about interesting stuff with the guest that is not redundant as to what they're talking about on all the other podcasts.
Really? That's not what you did with the previous guest we got.
Okay, in what other podcast is Paul Storks talking about Warcraft 3 aesthetics? Tell me. Tell me.
Well, there must be
tell
some
me.
place like they have these drive chain spaces on Twitter every Friday, and the thing lasts 8 hours with Paul Storks talking. He must talk about Warcraft at some point.
At some point. It's like if you're putting monkeys behind a typewriter, you'll get that eventually. If you put Paul Starks behind a microphone, it will eventually go to Warcraft. No, I do think we're able to do that.
You remember that scene in the last game with Pizu and that third guy? That he had a bunch of Corsairs and he didn't try to kill the Scourge.
Oh wait, yes, but I don't think I counted, and it wasn't anything spectacular because you need 2 Scourge for 1 Corsair, right? And I counted the amount of Scourge, and it was something like 12 of them. It was only 12 Scourge, so that's six Corsairs max if you have like nice distribution.
Yeah, but these moments they always happen in these games. Like I've seen many times, and then the guys, Tasteless and Arthrosis, they always scream. They think all the Corsairs are going to die, and then the Corsairs don't die. I remember a game where the Desert player, he made a bunch of those weird air units.
Devours?
Devours. He had a bunch
yeah.
of Devours, Scourge, Mutas. He had a big army of these things. And the Protoss guy only had a bunch of Corsairs. And then he attacked the Corsairs with everything. And the guys were, the casters, they were screaming. And then all Desert died. And then the guy GG'd. It was a very, like a dramatic moment, like all the game converged to that moment. And then Desert all died in 2 seconds.
Oh, this is something I thought about, something we could do. Instead of doing a Bitcoin StarCraft podcast, we can do a StarCraft Bitcoin podcast and do actually cast those replays that we can now get from the pro gamers.
That's true.
That was my thirst, because I saw that video from Tasteless and the Seawall stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thought that I had. It's like, wait, we can just cast basically pro matches and see if we can do casting.
You know, they have my games there.
Yes.
The games I played on the ladder, they have it.
Yes, we're going to watch your games on the ladder.
No, please.
I don't know if we're going to be particularly good at casting. The problem is we're going to have to observe as well, which is another skill.
That's true. We can hire someone to do that.
Yes, so we no, it's value for value. So if you are really good at being an observer in StarCraft,
so
maybe
this is not a
maybe
podcast anymore. Like, this is a video thing.
Yes, this is going to be a video thing.
You think I am not good at casting?
No, I don't know.
You think you
We'll
are
see.
good at casting?
No, I don't think I don't know if we're going to be particularly good at casting.
Should we do it like
we can try.
single file? Like, how do I say this? Like, I cast a game alone and you cast another, and then we share a channel, and then we become the best StarCraft channel in the world.
No, we should do it together. That's better.
And then we invite Bitcoin celebrities to cast the game with us.
We're going to be the tasteful duo.
Tasteful.
The tasteful duo. No, we should ask. Because personally, I feel that if the only thing you do is throw money around, it's like a form of escapism, right? You're not actually being involved. You just try to buy your way into being involved. So I feel that in order for Jack Dorsey to better himself, he should actually put in some effort instead of just money and be our observer. So Jack Dorsey,
Yeah.
it's better to just finally start doing something, right? Get off your lazy ass. Talking about the global south. It's time to actually start doing things.
Did he really talk about the global south? Was
I
it
don't
his quote?
I don't know.
Because I'm going to return the money if he said that.
It would be great if we have Jack Dorsey as an observer. Yeah.
I don't know. Did he actually ever play this? Maybe he did,
Jack
right?
Dorsey
Everybody
play-
did.
Play StarCraft?
Yeah, everybody in this. I think, yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
How
I'm
old was
amazed
he?
by.
How old was he in the 2000s?
I don't know. 5,
That's not true.
15.
5. Yeah. I'm listening to the Stack Overflow podcast. You don't know what the Stack Overflow is, right?
Yes.
You don't know. You
Yes, Stack Overflow. It's a website for coding questions.
Yes. So these guys, they're two programming celebrities in 2008, and they made a website, and they made a podcast to talk about the website they were making, because they were unsatisfied with the state of programming questions in the internet in 2008, and
Yeah.
and I'm listening to the podcast now, and aside from some interesting programming topics, they also mention StarCraft, they mention Bitcoin, because they made the coding questions website, and then they expanded to questions about other topics, like in separate subsites. And then they talk about the websites they're launching. In 2011, at some point, because I'm listening to all the episodes, they talk about, oh, we have a new website about Bitcoin. And they talk. One of the guys said, oh, I'm not sure about this Bitcoin thing. And then the other guy says something about Bitcoin, but then the audio quality becomes very bad. And then they come back later and said, oh, we had problems with the audio. And they don't talk about Bitcoin anymore. And they have a website for games. And they say StarCraft is the game with most activity, most questions in this website. But this is in the end of 2011. They say Skyrim is surpassing StarCraft at some point.
But I think, I think it's probably pretty active still, Skyrim, with the modding and stuff. So I'm not sure to what extent Brute War will re-overtake interest.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. If Brute War would overtake that. But the fact that they launched StarCraft 2 makes it like...
Are we going to
reuse
get
it again.
StarCraft 3?
I hope not. I hope people stop making games.
Just stop making games. There is a new StarCraft clone coming, right? Not just Stormgate, but the
Yeah,
there's another one
I
as
saw
well.
the other one. It's much better. Looks much better than Stormgate.
Yeah, but it still I don't.
But it's fake.
In terms of aesthetics, I still have the same complaint. I don't like how it looks, but it looks a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to make other games.
The
So
dude talked about the engine, which I think is interesting because like RTS engines is some of the things I think about from time to time. So I'm
You know what
interested
happened?
in how the
Sorry,
What happened?
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. But
No,
I
it's
like
fine.
I like the visuals much better. No, I like the visuals of Stormgate too, but I don't like that. At least Stormgate is just a StarCraft clone. There's no added mechanics, so
Mm-hmm.
there's no point in making another game, right? If you're not trying to invent something new, just play the other game, right? I don't know. But what happened was that I was playing a ranked Brood War game, and the other person who had a weird name, he said, "Are you the real fiatjaf from Noster?" And I don't
You're a
know
celebrity
who
now.
that person is.
You are a celebrity. Dude.
It was such a weird feeling because if this person is on Noster, why is he not in the Telegram group dedicated to Noster Brood War? And the guy played with me. The guy was very bad, but he beat me because I am much worse. Yeah.
There's something I wanted to mention, but I forgot already. What were we talking about? Maybe I can recall.
You were talking about the other StarCraft clones and Jack Dorsey being
Oh
your
yes,
old
so
server.
I have a terrible idea that is maybe so terrible that it might actually work. So here's what I think. So my idea always has been, build the engine, leave the engine and as abstract as possible. So it's just like squares and triangles and stars and circles and shit, right?
Mhm.
And then subsequently people can make like overlays on this engine.
And you can sell effects on your
I'm
game
not
store, so people can buy the effects, put on their mods.
Basically, I didn't think about the marketing stuff right yet, but I can be playing medieval RTS game, and you can play space age RTS game, and we're still playing the exact same game
That's nice. That's not
because
nice idea.
underneath it's just like
But-
the engine.
But but I think this affects Bitcoin in a sense because I feel like there's a bunch of Bitcoin people that they just want to make the tools. They don't want to make the product. They want to make a library that will help other people make a framework that will help other
Yes.
people make a tool that will help others make libraries for other people to make other frameworks, and then
Yes,
at some point we will all hyper
yes.
Bitcoinize the world. But that yeah, there's all this LDK, BDK, the BDK Foundation, the libraries that you have. Like I'll make the library, and you, filthy person, will somehow use my library in your filthy wallet that I will not touch because I live in the clouds, in the heaven of the libraries that are pure, completely pure. They don't touch the user, they don't touch the chain. They only make functions. Yeah. Okay.
But I think this is actually the right way.
Yeah.
While I understand that so in the real world normally it's actually products that win, right? Because I get what you're saying, right? It's you can make something that is polished from A to Z, and it might not be as fancy or pure or whatever, but at least it works and it looks nice, right? So it actually gets adoption because most users don't actually care about all the other stuff, and if it's just minimally viable, functional, at least, and it looks nice, then it's going to win, right?
I'm not
But,
sure. We're not sure, but yes.
But I just don't think it applies to Bitcoin. I think the Bitcoin context is different.
Well, if the good people are just making libraries, then the bad people will make shitty products that will steal your coins. Or it will be just a, I don't know. Or no one will make the products, and then no one will use Bitcoin. I know you don't care about people using Bitcoin, but I do. I want people to use Bitcoin, and there are no solutions for people to use Bitcoin that are good because all the brain power is going to people that are making libraries that no one is using for anything. Libraries and frameworks and specs.
Okay, so I think let's take is it Blockstream Green? The wallet, the Blockstream wallet.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do they still do the co-signing thing?
Yes, they do, but I think the default is single signing now, which is horrible because now it's just a stupid single signing wallet. And I use it to recommend that to people because the double multi-sig thing was good. That I like it, but now people just default to single sig.
But it was a bit confusing, though. I do agree that it was good, or is good, although it's like... It confused me because I wasn't necessarily aware, so the user experience that the person that I recommended using Green had is completely different from how I interact with Bitcoin. So it was a bit confusing. But I wanted to take that as an example because that's like a product, right? They did a fancy contract thing. They made it into an A to Z polished product.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot really move beyond that, right? Whereas if somebody takes the effort to create something like Miniscript, now all of a sudden, it takes a longer time, but now there is Miniscript and it allows all these other wallets to actually start doing these fancy things. And if people put in the effort to do the descriptor stuff, now all the hardware wallets can actually adopt it, and then there might be even some flexibility as to what software you're using in relation to your wallet. It's just better, it's just hard. It's a it's freaking long ass road, right?
I think you handpicked an example. I don't think it's that hard. Well, Miniscript is already done. I don't think there's anything else to do. Maybe I'm speaking bullshit here, but
no, but Miniscript is one thing, but then you also need the descriptor stuff,
which is given by the Miniscript stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm just complaining.
And a lot of this work has been done now. And we're now in the stage. Did you interact with the Liana wallet? Did you have a look at it?
No, I don't like the name.
You don't like the name, so you never opened it.
Yes.
Okay.
I tried Nunchuk because I like the name, but I don't like the words. Yeah.
So the look is very basic, but it's very... if you're setting up the wallet, it just shows you this... It's a screen, and you can just set up these policies, and it's like you click, add a key, and you define the key, and you add another key, and you define that key. And then you can add a path, and then you can define a new script path, and then you can keep adding keys there, and you can define the time block. So you make
a Taproot thing.
Yes, and it's... Well, I'm not sure if it's... if they're using Taproot, actually. Well, they have to.
Well, yeah. I know they can do it all in a big script. But they probably do it using Taproot because they are researchers.
You can make it... at least in the UI, you can make it really complex and large. Like have 10 different spending paths with very large multi-sigs, etc.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think we've done a lot of I've done anything.
Well, you're the biggest defender of this type of stuff.
That's true. But I didn't do anything. Neither did Jack Dorsey, for the record. He only sends money. So we, excluding me and Jack Dorsey, we've done a lot of the hard work. I feel like we've done a lot of required, necessary hard work, and we're slowly starting to move to the phase where products are being delivered, like the Liana wallet.
I don't know. Right? I don't know about that. I remember listening to a podcast in 2018 with Matt Odell, and he was saying like, I think we reached. He was saying that he was saying that he thought we have reached the nirvana, like we are very close to having the ideal setup for a Bitcoiner, and his ideal setup was using Wasabi wallet with Cold Card or something like that. And then like a few months after that, he started fighting with the Wasabi people, and then Wasabi became this KYC company, something like that. But like many the things have gotten much better than the setup he described as the very close to ideal in that show.
I mean, if you just look at multisig, it took a while, but it's getting there now, right? We have decent multisig wallets.
That's true.
Of course, nobody's using them, but you can actually use
I
them.
use them all the time.
Right.
I like multisig. I think multisig is
Right.
much better than hardware wallets and stuff like that.
Well, you need hardware.
No, I mean, I think
You
if
can
you
use
only
hardware
have one
wallets.
hardware wallet, or if you have like 2 computers with multisig, I think the 2 computers with multisig is better. Safer.
Yes, okay, but you can use the hardware wallet in the multisig.
Yeah, that's much
That's my
better.
point.
Yeah, that's much better.
Um,
I don't know. Don't trust me. Don't listen to this advice. I want reimburse your funds.
Maybe you should start a multisig Telegram bot.
Yeah, I should. And then people paste their private key and then we produce the signature or something like that.
I have been thinking about that. Is to what extent can you actually make a very trivial service? Being a cosigner.
There was
So
one
it's like a
called Trusted Coin or something. Trusted Coin. Let me search.
It's like there are no guarantees, right? You only pay a little bit of money. I'll do the function. You cannot actually rely on me being there.
But they give you
want me to be there.
the key.
But probably I'll be available for co-signing. That's the
But
idea.
who holds the key?
The co-signing key?
Yeah.
Well, the service provider.
But what if
Yeah,
they
host
vanish with your key? If it's not, that's the problem, right?
No, because it doesn't have any spending. It's a cosigner. It cannot spend on its own.
Right, but if they vanish with the key, then you
Yes.
have to use your other key or something that you have stored.
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
move the funds.
Yes, but the point is that it's just a trivial service. I mean, you can have like a 5 out
So
of 7.
if you open
right?
trustedcoin.com, you see Trusted Coin is a non-custodial Bitcoin transaction co-signing service. It looks very simple, but I never tried to use it because I thought they would vanish with the key, and then it would be a very big hassle. Apparently, they're integrated in the Electron wallet.
Ah. Interesting. Well, the idea is that you can get like 3. You just buy 3 cosign, or you do 3 cosigners, and then hopefully one of them functions when you need them to. I think the biggest problem is like access to the key. Like if it's too easy to get access to the cosigning key as an attacker, then what's the actual value? So I'm still thinking about that. Because otherwise, it's always in relation to trust, right? Or it's in the context of a trusted setup, and you know these people, or it's like a verified business and that type of stuff. Anyway.
Okay.
No, I think I like where multisig is right now, with all the developments that it had, and it took a couple of years. And the thing is, it's like a staggered evolution, because in the period that multisig became like a well-developed product, let's say, with good wallets, the other stuff. So we're never there, at least for the time being. We're not going to be there because
There's a truck with audio passing through here. Okay.
what am I listening to?
Sorry. Yeah. Go.
Is that now we have like nice multisig wallets, but we're also halfway in developing the Taproot stuff, and then so we're never there for the foreseeable future. It's going to be this staggered development. I feel where we're also not able to explain a mode of operation within Bitcoin because it's going to keep shifting. It used to be keys, then it went to like the seed phrases, and now we're not moving away from the seed phrases, but you also have to like manage these contracts and the descriptors and stuff, right? So the way you're interacting with Bitcoin keeps changing, and that also means that everybody that you onboarded right now with the bullshit story is like, here are your 24 words and keep them very safe and put them in the steel or blah 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 blah, right? Then in 1 year or 2 years, it's like the story changes already, right? You're gonna have to tell a different story. And then everybody you onboarded but isn't like a power user, they're like, what the fuck? I thought it was like this. It's like, well, yeah, it was like that like 2 years ago, but it's not like that anymore. Now it's different. And they're like, what the fuck? Go fuck off with your stupid fucking Bitcoin. I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. So it's going to be rough for a long while. That's how I look at it, right? I think there is this... people want to get to the goal, right? This is the way we're going to use Bitcoin. And I want that to be the way we're going to use Bitcoin, because then there is no change anymore, and I can make my products and I can make my services, and all is nice with the world. And I think that touches on the replaced by fee stuff as well, right? Where
and the big blocks.
Well, what do you say?
And the big blocks, like wasn't the narrative at the time that.
Yes. That's exactly yes. Because it's like, okay, this is how we're using Bitcoin right now, and the only way we don't have to change is if we just make bigger blocks, right? And there are a bunch of wallets complaining about the replaced by fee stuff. It's like, well, now we cannot do the thing anymore that we used to do, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're going to get fucked, right? If you're going to develop something in Bitcoin, you're going to get raped by the fact that in 2 years the entire landscape is different, and the thing that you build is not relevant or functioning anymore. It's functional, but it's just not relevant anymore, because we fundamentally shifted already in how we interact with the stuff, right? Because it's not seeds anymore; it's something different. And I just think that's an inherent reality.
I like the fact that Bitcoin Core never liked the seeds, the words. They never implemented support for that. They always thought it was a very low class thing, probably, that would and they wouldn't want themselves to meddle with those global south techniques. Okay.
Oh, I like seeds. It's seeds are fine. But then you have like the key paths, and whoa, man, is that a hit and run? Did they rob a bank? What happened?
I think they were just making a turn.
they weren't just making a turn, fiatjaf. That's not how just making a turn. That sounds like, oh fuck, I just shot a guy, I need to get out of there, making a turn.
Did you watch that video with the guy following? I think we have commented about it on the podcast. The guy following the other with the motorcycle, something like that.
At the end he gets out and then he slips through a gate and then he runs away.
No, I think in the end the guy catches the other one.
Huh. Then we're thinking about something different. Unfortunately, what we discussed, I think we already discussed this. We're still down on the repeat.
So let me say one more thing. Do you think if in the future Bitcoin is used by everybody, but like only through custodial means or third-party stuff, then the big users, the people who should be making on-chain transactions, they will just rely maybe on some multi-sig federation or something like Liquid that to come up with at the time, and then they want, because they will not want to pay a very large fee to use the Bitcoin blockchain, and then the fees will go down because people will come up with these solutions, and then the mining will go down, and then Bitcoin will be a very fragile thing.
Okay, so there is an issue here that you're basically touching on. Is that if you are like a serious person for representing a serious organization involving serious money, right? And what point is there in the fact that you have this autonomy in relation to the Bitcoin? The meat space guarantees are actually pretty good. So do we need the cryptographic guarantees? I guess that's the fundamental question. Because when I'm talking about meat space guarantees, it's like, okay, there is a board, and the board signs off and stuff, and if there needs to be done a transaction, there are always two people involved there, and everybody knows who those two people are, right? And it's very transparent on what they're actually doing. So it's not, although technically they can abuse the position that they're in and can do something totally different. Will they, right? And in the current paradigm of banking, it's even less of a problem, because then if they do something that they weren't supposed to do, you can just call the bank and like say, okay, please reverse this. So maybe the reason that ultimately this kind of setup isn't going to be viable in a Bitcoin case is that the moment if they're able to sign the transaction, they can just do something totally weird with the money.
So, but
and you can't stop it anymore. And maybe you can, like, even it's like a.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking like between two organizations.
They're suicide transactionists, right? They blow themselves up by doing the transaction, so you cannot even kill them anymore or punish them. They're like, Allah Akbar, and then they send.
Yeah, that's a technique for producing signatures that you can only produce once in your lifetime, because you die, and then you don't need a blockchain. You can transfer coins.
That's better. We're putting self-destruct rings on everybody.
Yeah, and then you can have a double spend. But yeah, well, I've listened to that on some Ethereum podcasts. They were talking about a technique using quantum fields or something, quantum entanglement states, and these quantum things, they would be your private key somehow, and to produce the signature you have to collapse the quantum field state, whatever, and then you can only do that once, and you can never get the private key again to produce another signature. So you have a private key that is only capable of producing a single signature. So they were not talking about it in the context of in this context, but I think if you could do that, I don't know how, if you could, but if it's possible, then you don't need the blockchain anymore. You don't have double spend. So
well, I think just need the moment you start the moment you start talking about quantum stuff, you probably don't need a blockchain pretty quickly anyway.
Why not? I think you do.
Yes, because, well, this is one reason, right? If you can just make like the single use signature thing,
and then everybody will have a quantum state on their pockets.
Another. Is that a quantum state in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? Well, doesn't it solve the latency issue?
Well, you can walk
like
in the street with your quantum states. You have a bunch of quantum states in your pocket. Each one is the size of a coin.
Walking down the street with my quantum state.
And then you want to buy a piece of bread, and then you collapse the quantum state, transfer that coin to the guy selling the bread.
I'm imagining this as some dramatic magical spell, right? You're just there. You're at the bakery, and then you put up your staff, and then there's like this big storm vortex going on. I am collapsing the quantum state. There's like lightning everywhere.
And then the guy gives you the change, right?
We have darkened skies everywhere with tornadoes going off because people are transacting. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Let's
I
end
mean,
this podcast. Okay, what's your comment? I want to hear it. Oh, you already made a very good comment.
my comment on what?
The quantum state stuff.
I don't know, because it's all pretty theoretical. I mean, is there proof that the theory actually works?
There's a paper.
Is this real? Is this a real thing?
There's a paper.
Oh, there's
made
a
by
paper.
scientists.
Yes, okay. But by that logic, Cardano should be... this should be a Cardano StarCraft podcast. No, actually, it should be a... no, I never wrote a paper on my RTS ID. Also, one thing, like, what would be the ultimate video game? But maybe that's something for next time.
What would be the ultimate video game? Isn't it just a StarCraft in which Dragon Path is not horrible?
It's a combination of a variety of types of games, right? So, I think you combine. Let's
like
say you
Battlefield?
combine like, yeah, you combine like Total War plus StarCraft plus some first-person shooter.
Yeah, the first time I played Battlefield. Have you played this game?
No.
I think it was the first
didn't
one that I
think so.
played, or like it was a long time ago. But you're in this battle, big war thing, Second World War or something, and you're there with your rifle, with a bunch of other soldiers, and then you can do all the first-person shooter things, but you can also drive cars, drive helicopters. And you can pick your people so they join your helicopter. And then you can shoot the helicopter of the other person. The helicopter falls, and then you go there and you stab the guy with it. Something like that. Like the part where you drive and you drive the helicopter through the completely different mechanics from the first-person shooting thing. So I was impressed with that.
Yes, but then the overlay is that there is somebody actively playing a real-time strategy game, providing you the helicopters and the tanks
Yeah,
and the
that's what I was
and the
thinking when I
upgrades and the gear, and then that there is a layer on top of that of somebody managing where the actual battles are going on and where the research distribution is going towards, and what commander gets what kind
Yeah,
of
but the
resources
guy
to start
can't
out with.
order you to do something. Otherwise, you won't be playing.
Well, so that's a mechanic that I'm thinking about. Like, okay.
There was another game called Majesty. I don't know if you played that one. It's like RTS, but it's... Well, I don't know what's the category, but you
there are
control
two ways
Majesty. Well, let me finish.
Okay.
Majesty is like you have your castle and you build buildings and you send your soldiers to attack the enemy. But you don't control them individually. You place bounties. And so if you have a bunch of soldiers in your country and you place a bounty for them to attack the other place, they will go there maybe or not. Some will go, others won't. There's this kind of stuff.
Okay, that's an interesting solution to the problem. Another one I was thinking of is you don't give them control over like the armored units, so tanks and stuff. They're just infantry. So the first-person players are just the infantry. And
People that follow your orders, you give them more stuff.
no, so I was thinking is like if you control the armored units, then they will be kind of forced to go along with what you order them to do. But they can just fuck you over, I guess, and do totally different stuff anyway. I don't know. Maybe because I'm thinking it's like for them it would be boring if they're bossed around. It's like yeah, now you have to do this and now you have to do that. It's like fuck it. Why am I playing this game anymore? It's not fun. So maybe the bounty stuff is a good idea. Just incentivize them to do that. And if you are a good commander, then maybe the people joining you are willing to follow your orders because they know, like, okay, if we're actually going to follow his orders, I have a fun time playing and we're going to win. Because he's an actual good commander and not giving bullshit orders.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, these games, Dota, I guess you don't have a commander, but... And you have team play.
Yes, but there's no hierarchy.
Yeah, there's no hierarchy.
The point here is that you have a hierarchy of at least 3 levels.
These football games, they have the classic thing where you control the players, but apparently you can also play online with each, like 22 guys playing, and each controls one player in the field. I have never played like that. Sounds horrible. In practice, it would probably be very bad.
Okay, let's end it here.
Okay. So the ultimate game, besides war, you should also have football and racing and chess.
That's true. That's true. Shit. Okay, so we're fighting a war on the creation of football stadiums.
And you also need RPG elements.
And in order to... Wait, I'm getting there. So the war is there to build football stadiums, right? And then you also need to go to the football stadium. So then that's the racing game, right? Because otherwise, in order to actually be there...
So the war could be like the crowds fighting with the other crowds in the football.
Oh no, that's a mini game. So you have the hooligan mini game. So there's a hooligan mini game where you can like group up with a bunch of hooligans and beat each other's heads in an alley somewhere. And then the RPG element is that you can go to like the city and cafes and like buy scarves and stuff like with logos of your favorite team, and socialize and cast magic spells where you collapse quantum states and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Okay, let's end